Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo, this is my forever co-host John. Today we talk about our more recent movie, Sinners by Ryan Coogler and starring, can you guess who it's starring? Is it a stretch of the imagination? Audience, who it's starring? It's starring Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm kidding, no. Starring Michael B. Jordan. But yeah, it's another collaboration of theirs and I do like this duo. It's the new DiCaprio and Scorsese duo. But yeah, this is set in the 1930s and is about, well, if you didn't know, it involves vampires. But
Yeah.
before we get ahead to the plot, were you excited for this?
I I, I didn't know what to think
Okay.
about Sinners when we first saw it because I was like, oh, okay. Like I knew nothing about Sinners. I do like Ryan Coogler, but like I didn't expect Sinners to be, you know, this big and that good.
Yeah, same here.
No offense to Ryan Coogler, but like, yeah, through the trailer alone, I was just like, okay, seems like 1930s, uh, you know, vampire hunting. And to be honest, I thought the entire time was that these two brothers, played by Michael B. Jordan, were vampire hunters.
Yeah,
I thought that was their whole shtick. Is that they're pretty much supernatural, but in the 1930s.
yeah,
That was not the case,
yeah.
and I
Um,
was fairly surprised on like what the plot was.
Yeah, you get introduced to these two brothers, Smoke and Stack, and like, I love the fact they're color coded. Like Smoke is blue and Stack is red. It's like, oh, that's how I
Yeah,
can tell the difference. Um, and like, it would be so much easier to like identify them if one was like over the top and one was just mellowed down. But like, they're different in their own way. Like, Stack is a
mm,
bit more impulsive. Smoke is the more cool-headed one, but like he's a bit
yeah,
more ruthless than Stack. Stack is just enjoying the vigors of youth.
yeah. I could see that, and I love their. It is so weird,
Yeah,
but like, yeah, they pulled off an entire Parent Trap again, where, yeah, one actor is playing two characters, but like the chemistry between the both of them, I'm like, man, I love both of you,
right.
even though you're being played by one person.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's Michael B. Jordan and Michael C. Jordan. We all still get
Banana one, banana two, just
just in 1930s the youngsters. But yeah, we get also introduced to Sammy, played by Miles Catton in his first movie role ever, which
this is
surprised
his
me.
first.
Yeah, I was like, where have I seen you before? Nothing. I was like, oh shit, you are going to be a star in this
Yeah.
decade, in our lifetime. Of course, there's Haley Steinfeld who plays Mary, and like you expect 1930s people to be like prim and proper, but the things that come out of Mary's mouth, I was like, Jesus Christ, are you sure that we're set in the 1930s?
I was like, God damn, where's your modesty?
Right? Exactly.
I don't even think we could say that here in the channel.
I know we can't. Uh, but yeah, Smoke and Stack are setting up this, I guess, hangout for
So,
the other African Americans, like their own
mm.
place, since the state that it's set in is not very, not racist. So you're like, oh, okay.
Like once you start seeing cotton fields, like a very like acres upon acres of cotton fields, that you kind of already know like what kind of situation they're in.
Yeah. And like just the way the landlord talks to Smoke and Stack, I'm like, there's something up about you that I don't like. But I guess we'll figure
Yeah,
that out later on. But yeah, with the help of Sammy, they help set up this establishment. They recruit other musicians, like
dude.
Deloy Rindo's
Yeah.
character. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Sorry.
Deloy Rindo?
Slim.
Yeah.
The guy played. Yeah,
Sorry.
and
Yeah. Yeah. I said his name correctly. So worried I was butchering it.
no, but I love this entire setup because I was just like at the start of the movie is you see Sammy just like walk into the chapel and just like already he has mayhem on him.
Yeah.
the man has like scars. The man has a broken guitar in his hand, and he's just like, "What happened?"
Yeah, what happened to you?
Yeah, and then it cuts to like was this one day ago? And I
Yeah.
was like, all of that just happens in one day?
Yeah. And it's like it's cool seeing the setup. You also get introduced to the supernatural element. Like if you didn't know this is about vampires, you'd be very surprised because you get introduced to Jack O'Connell's character. I forgot his name, but the lead vampire, he's Irish, and he runs into this.
Remick.
Yeah, Remick.
His name is Remick, yeah.
He hides in the house of this racist couple, and he's being hunted down by Native American, I guess, vampire hunters.
Yeah, that shit was cool though.
Yeah.
like I love that entire sequence where like they just come in and like hey, whatever you got, you gotta let that thing out.
Yeah.
Don't invite it in. Now I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then they just ride off because like sun's going down.
Yeah.
And
And like
yeah, but by the way, you get a lot of character development before shit hits the fan.
yeah.
I love that. Where I guess like back in the 1930s, you could just start up a bar within one day.
Yeah. And like it's like everybody's having a great time, and you see how talented of a musician Miles Catton is, like in general, like how well he sings. There's this one sequence in the film that's going crazy on TikTok, and that's
Yeah.
him singing, and the past and the future just merged together. Like as I was
Yeah.
watching that, I was like, I can't really explain what's happening other than that music transcends us all, but it is fucking cool.
Yeah, and I love that. Is that they do explain at the start of the movie that hey, blues music does call in spirits from past and the future, like present and the future,
Yeah.
and some tend to be evil.
Yeah.
But the entire sequence, I was like a little thrown off. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Because like you start seeing like somebody who's pretty much like Jimi Hendrix, I'm
Yeah.
guessing, and some people on turntables. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they were going through Black history
Yeah.
when it comes to music, and I love that entire sequence.
Yeah, you definitely see that the root of rock and hip hop comes from the blues, and it's only because of cultural appropriation that it's like you wouldn't know that it comes from the blues.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah,
And
it's a
and,
great
like-
blend of culture too.
yeah, and like I do love the character for Mary.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she is still considered family because her grandfather was black.
yeah,
That's why she's still kind of within the circle.
yeah,
Even though she got a lot of white in her.
yeah. That's
Like,
why.
even Samuel was like, "You sure she white?"
Yeah, that's why when the vampires come and knocking, they're like, "How come she gets to be here?" And they're like,
But
"She's family." Yeah,
like
exactly.
I love it that they didn't need to explain anything. They're just
Yeah,
like, "She's
yeah.
family."
Yeah,
And I love this entire part where, yeah, Remick and his gang like comes in as typical white people do, and just ruin everything for everybody. Sorry, can I say that?
yeah, sure. I mean, we're not white, so it's no problem.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, dude. With your mustache, you look like a cop. But yeah.
I look like the Paulus of Bartas. But yeah, go on.
But yeah, so like they turn up and they're like, "Hey, we heard your music and we want to play." I love it that that's the like you don't even notice it until like you watch somebody explain it to you.
Yeah,
But it's that Sammy brought them there.
yeah,
Sammy was the one who kind of called on to the vampires
yeah,
to go to that place because again, blues music, as they say here in this movie, do bring in the spirits,
yeah.
whether it be good or bad.
It's a very easy explanation, and like it's interesting to see how they handle vampires here, because Remick is like obviously like thousands of years old at this point. Like even says like to them, like, I know what it's like to be taken off the land because the Christians came over and kicked our people off our land, them being the Irish. So he's like, in this community, we can all be one. And you're like, no, thank you. I'd rather not be dead.
Sounds great on paper, but no.
Yeah.
But I love this entire scene where it's just like, yeah, they're asking to be like brought in, and you're just like, they're just like, no,
Yeah.
because Smoke pretty much brings up a pretty like solid case is that, hey, we don't know them, and what would happen if we step on their foot or say the wrong thing?
Yeah.
We're gonna get more than just a fight.
Yeah, we're gonna bring the entire clan down on us, and we don't
Yeah.
want on. But yeah, like, Mary tries to make a deal with what she thinks is just regular white people until one starts like floating in midair. You're like, well, that's not good.
Nah, because they got creepy real fast. Where
Yeah.
they're like, he starts drooling while he's talking to her, and then like the lady's like touching her shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna pull a gun on you too.
Yeah, like, it's like that Pennywise drool where you're like, are you some kind of creature? I thought you're supposed to be subtle about that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I
when...
feel like they already knew that there was no escape for her.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, sadly, Haley Seinfeld gets bit,
yeah,
but like again, she just walks in. It's like, but you invited me in, what? And of course, the bouncer is like, I know you, come on in. One thing they didn't tell us is that if you get turned into a vampire, your mind just, all right, cool. I'm full on vampire. I'm killing even my loved ones.
right? And like when she's having the sexy time with Stack, like, you see the bite mark and you're like, oh, I guess she didn't make it. That's unfortunate. I like Haley Steinfeld. And then Smoke just bursts in. He's like, what's going on? Holy shit. My brother's neck is a gaping hole. What the fuck did you do? And like
Yeah, and he just... I love how fast Smoke works, though. Like, even doesn't matter that, hey, we know her since we were kids, but he was just like, bap, 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 bap. I'm like...
Yeah.
And they do explain that Smoke and Stack were part of the mob.
Yeah.
They worked with Capone.
Yeah.
So we know that these guys are ruthless.
Yeah, he can handle himself, but like Haley Steinfeld runs out, and like other people start getting turned, like Cornbread and that one Asian guy, and you're like, well,
Yeah.
shit. I love the fact that we know what vampires are, but they don't know, so they're like, what the fuck is happening? Can you explain this?
Yeah, only the character, what was her name? Annie?
Yeah.
The love interest of Smoke.
Yeah.
Only she knows
Yeah.
about the whole vampire business. But again, like, going at it, I love the scene where Cornbread, like, yeah, he gets bit.
Yeah.
But he just walks up as if he knows you. But the thing is,
He needs
like,
permission to
hey,
go in.
he needs permission. I love that they stuck with that rule.
Yeah.
I love it that, like, oh, if you invite, like, don't invite them in, kind of deal. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And it made it kind of creepier, in my opinion, that, like, oh, they can't go in unless invited. So they do their best to, like, make sure that, like, people say it's easy. Like, oh, to avoid it. But the thing is, like, hey, what if your loved one gets bit, but you don't know? And they can just walk right in.
Yeah. You're like, of course you can come in, and then you're just fucked. And you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
what have I done?
Yeah. And we get the coolest scene, in my opinion, is that, like, oh, okay, Cornbread is being asked to leave because they don't trust him. He's like, all right, but you gotta pay me. And as soon as, like, Smoke reaches out his hand, like, Cornbread grabs it and tries to bite him, but Smoke is too fast
Yeah.
that he shoots him in the head mid-fall. I'm like, that was fucking sick.
Right? Like, they also, like, Stack also comes back as a vampire, and he starts doing that hereditary shit. Like, just starts banging his head. I was like, oh, I can see the inspiration. It's so creepy as shit. And like, when they're all like waiting inside, you just hear all of the vampires do this like Irish song and dance. I'm like, that is unsettling, but fucking cool.
It is. I love that we get to see different types of like history when it came to music.
Yeah.
And by the way, uh, I was like asking myself like, oh okay, after Stack got bit, Sammy and the Asian guy were kind of like telling the people, hey, look, party's over, go home. All right, everything's like everything's done. And before the Irish jig that we get, I was like, what happened to all the people who tried to go home?
Right? And like,
And then you get the answer, and you're like, oh fuck, they all got bit.
like again, that's because they don't know what's about to happen. But we were like, I don't think it's safe to send them home at all. I think they should all just stay here. You know, safety in numbers. But it's too late. You're like, oh man. Like the final battle is pretty cool. Like I love the fact that nobody is spared their fate.
Yeah. Look, like I know there were a couple of people who got mad at a certain character, and that character's Grace. But in my opinion, I was like, oh no, what she did was very valid. I just wish she just invited one of them. That was the thing. I was like, we're like, or like her husband, like, because her husband got bit.
Yeah.
Because he went out to get the car so they could go home to their daughter at the convenience store.
Yeah.
But the thing is, since he got bit, his mind got got connected to the main vampire.
Yeah.
So they know where her daughter lives.
That was
So that
creepy as shit when he started speaking Chinese. I was like,
Chinese. Again, creepy as shit, but like I love it.
Yeah.
I do. Like, it's just like he spoke fluent Chinese, and that's terrifying.
Felt bad for Grace because she literally took everything she got to take down one vampire. She like gets set on fire. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, well, but while she's like killing her husband, she's on fire,
Yeah.
which goes so hard.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like cool because like people are like mad because like she invited them in
Yeah.
because she was afraid that they will come after her daughter. So they're like she wants to end it here and now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if she dies or everybody else dies as long as her daughter lives.
It's safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely nobody's spared. Like you're just gripping the edge of your seat because Sammy's lover dies. Smoke's lover dies. He has to end. Smoke has to end his love's life. You're like, oh, that's rough.
I got a little confused because I was like, there were a bit of like 2 extra guys who I didn't know was in the bar.
Right?
I was like, who are you?
Like, who the fuck are you? Like Delroy Lindo sacrifices himself so they can make it to the roof, but they're trapped.
Not gonna lie, great job on the practical effects, but when he cuts himself, that shit was too real. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I'm like, I guess you're not making it to the end. And then like Sammy makes it out, but he's surrounded by Remick and his gang, and he starts doing this dialogue of like, we can all be one, we can all be a hive mind together. Like, people don't want you, they don't want us. Why don't you belong to a clan that will not be racist, that will accept you for who you are? And again, you're like, sounds great. I want to go out in the sun, man. I want to enjoy my days in the day and sleep at night. I want to be normal. I don't want to have like 9-inch fangs in my mouth. No, thank you.
By the way, the design for Remick was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Where, again, he's very normal looking, but he has like his teeth starts to grow, his nails start to grow.
Yeah.
And instead of looking more like a vampire, he looks more like the devil.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Coogler said like he took inspiration from Death in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish with the design of the eyes. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
yes.
Yeah.
I forgot that. Okay, I think it might have been Blade Runner that
Which one?
did the same thing with their eyes.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you could tell that they're AI or something
Yeah. Like,
through their eyes.
I want to
But
know.
here,
Oh,
yeah.
you were saying about their eyes?
No. It's like I love that little feature that like it's red and
Yeah.
it just pierces through the night. I'm like, that is fucking sick.
Right. Want to know how Coogler filmed the scene of Smoke versus Stack? I was like, I can't tell where you
Yeah.
cut this, man. It's like the one shot in Creed all over again, where I'm like, I can't tell where you edited this thing, man. And like, you think Smoke kills his brother, and because you don't see the body. Same with Haley Steinfeld when they all burst into flame. I'm like, oh man.
Once the sun like rises.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, Haley Steinfeld's gone. That's a shame. And then for poor Smoke, his business is not done because he finds out through Remick and the rest of the gang that the KKK are coming. So he's like, tells Sammy to leave, and he deals with business.
You know what's so weird to say is that like I was like, that guy's a vampire. No, he's worse. He's a racist. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Hey, at least the vampires were inclusive.
exactly. Like,
But like, yeah. So, like the guy who sold them the
property.
barn or the
Yeah,
or the I think it was like a warehouse
yeah, yeah.
was like the grand
Ma-
mystical dragon.
Grand
I don't
Wizard of the Ku Klux
Yeah, whatever
Klan.
D&D like title that they like.
Yeah, they culturally appropriate everything, man. It's not fair. Um,
But yeah, whatever stupid fucking name the KKK has for their leader.
Yeah. I love that they're like, where is he? Bang! And like you see, because you learn that Smoke and Stack fought in World War One too, so they're like
Yeah.
really trained to deal with business.
Yeah, but dude, even though we get that information, like usually in a regular action movie, someone like Blade or any other kind of like man versus vampire movie,
Yeah,
if you know that they're in the military or they can handle themselves very well.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael B. Jordan can,
yeah,
but it felt so real that it just felt like he was crawling towards the end, even though
Yeah.
he was fighting his brother.
yeah,
It looked like a rough fight. Like I don't know who's gonna win.
yeah. And
Michael B. Jordan did look like he was invincible. Like he was just taking out vampires left and right.
yeah, it was only
The dude was struggling.
it was only at the end where you felt like he was like having no problems killing the racists.
It was just regular people. He was just like bah, 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 bah.
Yeah, throws a grenade even though he's like shot through the gut, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, is this the end of Smoke? Like he sees his lover and his child who passed away years ago, and then as he's like dreaming, the guy's like, I have money, and he's like, shut the fuck up, and just blast him.
Absolutely. Like he's dying, and we do find out earlier in the movie that he had a daughter that died.
Yeah, yeah,
And yes, well, sadly, his love interest also died within the movie.
yeah,
Because he had to kill her. So he sees them, like, as he's, like, passing, he sees them, and he gets interrupted by this dude. He's like, "Man, shut the fuck up."
I love how
Like,
how it's not just one shot to the head. He's like, nah, I'm gonna make you suffer for in this life.
What's an entire, like, magazine?
Yeah. And Sammy goes back to his father, who never wanted him to do the blues because it's the devil's music, and Sammy has to make a choice right then and there.
Well, they don't say it's the devil's music. They say it calls,
The devil.
it calls the dead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sammy makes a decision to like be a musician anyways, and he makes it through like the racist times and makes it to more civilized times in the 90s. Like,
But,
well, better than the 30s, definitely.
yeah, very, very. But yeah, I do love that scene where his dad's just telling him, like, let it go. I'm like, dude, your son's all scratched up. How about get a band-aid first?
Right?
Instead of
Yeah.
lecturing him.
He rides off with those same scars. I'm like, he didn't even clean you, man. What a dad. What a bad
Yeah.
dad.
But he's like saying, drop the guitar,
Yeah,
join the chapel, and just be a preacher.
yeah,
But Sammy didn't want that, so man rides off into Chicago, just like what Smoke and Stack did
yeah.
years before.
And like,
Uh,
I knew from Jeremy Johns there's a mid-credit scene, so but I was like, do I really want to see it? And then like I just watched Sammy play because I didn't know it was like the absolute end of the movie.
yeah, there was actual people like leaving when I watched it. There was people leaving. the
Yeah.
cinema. They're like, okay, it's done. It's just it. And I'm like, and then yeah, I feel like it wasn't a bad mid-end scene.
Yeah, it's
you
like
know?
the actual end of the movie where, and it's not over the top too. It's not like Sammy fights them with his guitar again, but
I really thought, like, I really got scared.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, yeah, Sammy, he's much older now, maybe in his 80s or 70s.
yeah,
And he doesn't have a lot of time left, but he is already, like, a renowned blues player.
yeah, and then Stack and
And then-
Mary come in.
Stack and Mary, we're like, oh yeah, we didn't see them die.
Yeah.
But yeah, they come in and they're like, oh, they're asking to be invited. They paying $100 to come in just to see you. And they're like, yeah, okay. And I did an audible no. But yeah, it's just like I was like, oh, fuck, okay. So they come in, but thankfully, Stack made a promise with Smoke that like, hey, I'll just let you live the rest of your days
Yeah.
unharmed. Like, I won't harm you. And like, yeah, they just hear him play one last time. And since like even Stack knows like, your time's up. You don't have a lot of time. And it was kind of like a sorry.
I could help you. I could make it better. And Sam's like, nah, I live my life. You're like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, respect.
Love the last question when they ask each other like, what do you think of that day? And Sammy's like, that was the best day of my life. Like before the night came over, before the sunset, it's the best day ever. And then he's like, how about you? Stack was like, yeah, it was a great day too. It's the last time I saw the sun, last time I saw my brother, and this last time I was truly free. And like that's just closure for the movie. I was like, I'm glad I stayed. Jesus.
Yeah. And they just leave. They just leave. And I was like so scared that like, oh, that's the ending. It's like it's a bad ending because there's new vampires or coming up to destroy this bar that Sammy made.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. It was tastefully done, and I liked how they did that ending.
Yeah. It's one of the movies where after I got home, I was like, I'm gonna download the entire score and soundtrack.
Yeah, same here. I was listening to the blues music, but the thing is, I was driving at night, and I'm like, I ain't calling the devil.
Not today, sir. Not today. But yeah. With all that being said, what would you rate Sinners?
What I don't know if I could find anything wrong with this movie. I will say there is one little thing that I found a little odd is that it dragged on, not dragged, but it went on for a little too long.
Yeah.
Kind of like the same situation with Ford versus Ferrari, where you thought the movie just ends there.
Yeah.
Oh, but there was some extra stuff like, Ken Miles dies in a car, and then they talk to his son. But I still will give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Even though, the ending got really stretched out. When I thought the movie would just end right there, there's a little bit more. I found it a little bit weird, but other than that, it was kind of information I needed to know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy, but the pacing itself was a bit weird.
Okay.
But other than that, everybody did a fucking amazing job. There was not a single weak actor here.
Yeah.
Seriously, from Michael B. Jordan all the way to just some regular dude. They all played their characters well. Even the guy who gets shot in the ass was like, I believe he's from this time. You know?
I believe he's in incredible pain too.
Yes. Everybody did such an amazing job. So kudos to all of them. I love it that they stuck with like the whole original vampire lore and like it's very supernatural. Vampires can't come in unless invited.
Yeah.
Made it even creepier. The design for the vampire itself, for Remick, top notch. And yeah, the fact that it was just one day.
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect that. I really thought it was gonna like stretch out. Again, Michael B. Jordan and Michael C. Jordan be vampire hunters or something. Nah. They just want to start a bar and just all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
And like that's fine with me. I love every bit of it. And for the actor of Sammy, dude, you're gonna go big.
Yeah.
What you did here, it's a it's a pretty damn good resume from there on.
Yeah. Like working with one of the best directors of our lifetime, and you're gonna be fine for the rest of your career. Like, I'm sure you'll be like a major star, like in 5 years' time, like a bigger star than you are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was your rating again?
It was a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yeah, I also can't find anything wrong with this movie. Like, I'm trying to think of something, but I'm like, nah. The soundtrack and score are 10 out of 10. Acting 10 out of 10. Fucking cinematography is pretty cool. The editing, like when they cut from Smoking Is Love and it cuts to like Sammy singing in the car, like that smooth transition. I'm like, fuck, I've never seen better editing in a while, forever. But yeah, action was pretty good, and like I do love the fact that Ryan Coogler is quickly becoming like again one of the more celebrated directors of our time, like right next to like Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan and Greta Gerwig. Like he's up there, and like 50 years from now, when they ask like who was one of the best filmmakers of your time, and his name will definitely be on our lips when we say best directors. Yeah. But yeah, 10 out of 10. It's a pretty damn good movie. Like I was saving my first cinema experience of 2025 for something special, and this is truly it. And it was either this or Warfare, and unfortunately I can watch both because money's. But like I think I chose well with
Warfare
Sinners.
out?
Yeah, it's out. It's in South Mall if you want to see it.
I do want to see it. I'm like because I hear a lot of good things.
Yeah.
But yeah,
to the audience watching, what's your so far favorite movie or show of 2025? Is it Sinners, Cap? I can't think of anything else that came in 2025. Companion. In terms of shows, is it The Last of Us 2, Daredevil, Born Again? Is it The Pit? I don't know if you've seen The Pit. The Pit is pretty good.
I want to see The Pit. It's on like Max.
Yeah.
But
But
by the way, yeah, you're right. This is my first time watching a movie.
in 2025,
In 2025. Huh,
yeah,
crazy.
it's not my first 2025 movie because that's Cap and Companion, but an Electric State. But in terms of going to the cinema and having myself a good time, Sinners is a very good time. Like,
Agreed.
yeah. But yeah, if you want to see more of us, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. And the VGM Zoda's voices on TikTok and Ants Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JomGUM_ on Instagram. It is my account.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.